As a Christian, taking responsibility is vital. I'm 30, so when I look back at my young adult life, there's things that I gave myself excuses for that honestly, I should have just took responsibility. I should have manned up, looked at where I was wrong, and took accountability. Now, I think that when you're young, you don't understand there's things that help you along the way as you get older and become wiser. So now that I'm 30, I could look back when I was 20 and say, this is what you did wrong. This is where you could have did better. Take responsibility, repent, and let's move forward in a productive manner. My thing about being a Christian is we're held to a certain standard. I've been a Christian my whole life. I understand what is wrong and what is right to a certain degree. Nobody's perfect, of course. But through wisdom, I can say if I had looked at this situation in this way, I could have grown or I could have got to a certain place faster and understood wisdom comes to those that take responsibility for good and bad. That's what I think wisdom is that you live life, you understand what you did wrong and what you did right. Taking responsibility is key. So I have to admit that I have just went through a tragedy, and recently I had taken a step back from God in a manner that I wasn't going as strong as I was before that tragedy. But now that I'm back on my feet, where God had dusted me off from the sorrow and everything that I had gone through, I was able to see what I did wrong and that I was blaming him for things that sometimes life just happens. And if God is in that situation, which he is in the life of believers, he's always he's always there for you. But understanding that if God did put me through that, it was for a reason. I have to acknowledge what I did wrong, which was blaming him and not understanding, and what I did right. And in this scenario, what I did right was is that I did pray. I prayed every day. I didn't leave God, but I understand that now, looking at where I went wrong and what I can be accountable for is that I put too much blame, viewed the situation that if he didn't do it to me, he was there watching me. And of course he's watching. He's there. He's always watching his children. At the end of the day, it wasn't right for me to put that thing on God when honestly, sometimes life just happens and you have to stick it through. Moving forward, I'm able to better recognize that everything isn't personal. Sometimes things happen, but God is always God at the end of the day. And that never changed for me. But I had to repent and I had to recognize what I did and where I can grow and do better. And that's my challenge to you. Christians, we need to be held to a certain standard, and we are, but we also need to look at I'm responsible for the things that I do. And at the end of the day, when I sit on the judgment seat, when I'm gone and I'm passing through the next life, I need to understand that when he opens that book and reads what I've done, the things that he reads in that book, it is full of things that I made choices of. So that when I move forward for the rest of my days, I want to be able to say, I made this decision, I made this choice. I'm not perfect, but I understand that I'm trying. And I think that for someone that's gonna bump their head, because we're human, we're all gonna bump our head, but it means something when you say, I'm accountable and responsible for the actions that I do and the decisions I make. So my little bit of wisdom at the age of 30 is it's best for us to take accountability. If you like this message, please like and subscribe. And this is Letter from Judah. Peace.